Yes.
Hi, and welcome back to Angels in the Library. Once again, me and Drake are always matching somehow, some way.
I know, right?
But Drake, are you ready to talk about your family?
No, it's been a
This
rough
is
week for us.
man, it's so crazy because I've never seen Gabriel down bad like this before, and I'm just like, that's how you know it's the end of the world.
Literally, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
For those of you guys who are new, this is an esoteric channel. We talk about things based around the spirit family, and essentially say her name, Drika.
Um, Holly Bailey?
Okay, I always want to say Holly too, but I was making sure it's
Hmm.
not Haley. Some people will be online saying Haley, and then I be thinking I'm wrong.
Yes, Holly, but I think they spell it almost like Haley, so it's
Yes, they spell it with
confusing.
the I, so it confuses me.
Hmm.
So Holly Bailey is Gabriel, and then we have um DDG. It was clearly a demon, but it's like we're gonna get into it. this is
Yeah.
this has been a wild week. Honestly, the opening thoughts on the Holly DDG situation. Okay. I don't care what kind of spirit you have. Everybody has to be held accountable, especially angels, because we're supposed to be doing better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm holding angels way more for more accountability than demons. And like, I don't want you guys thinking I'm playing favorites to angels. At the end of the day, I care about angels more, which means I got to be more hard on angels. I got to be harder on heaven.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
hard on you because I love you. No, you're not. You're just being hard on me.
the first thing I've already said this a million times about DDG is the fact that this is a person that perpetually dates people online for clout and energy because clout is energy, right? So
Hmm.
Hallie is just completely wrong for dating this guy. Like it has to start there because and
Completely
Funky
wrong.
Dineva said this. Funky Dineva said this. Everybody warned her. Like in life, sometimes nobody warns you not to date people, right? Sometimes like
Hmm.
people tell you to date somebody that's terrible for you and you go and do it. But literally everybody told her like that's my cat. Sorry you guys. Everybody told her not to date this dude, And she really had that forewarning and it's terrible that he like what's so funny too is I had told people I'm like DDG is the kind of guy that would put your text messages out there. Like I can look at him and know he would go that far for clout. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that is the worst kind of person. People that literally will tell all your business when you get into something with them is like the to me the lowest level of demon
Yeah.
because in life everybody has bad moments. Like I don't care what anybody want to say. You want to call Holly great? Everybody done cuss somebody out before. Let's keep it a buck. But there's nothing worse. This
Seriously.
is like they still have a kid together. There's somebody that everything that you've said they're keeping track of. That's what Diddy does to people. Like everything you do around Diddy's on camera. Meanwhile, where's the cameras and footage of him doing all his BS?
Exactly. He banked all everybody's bad day.
Yeah, he keeps your worst day in a file just in case you
Like
try to leave him
why? It's like,
your
oh
worst moment.
really? I'm about to pull that out on you. Yeah, that is a real low poor energy.
I think that's the worst kind of person. Like to me, I would not date somebody, especially Holly, in the sense that she's a person that's known for doing things. She's not known for like the internet and social media. But even here, I like you will never in a million years you couldn't pay me to talk bad about anybody I've dated, any of my ex friends, anything like I just don't believe in that. Those people were a part of your life, a part of your journey. That's between y'all and that's it. I just don't
Hmm.
believe in talking bad about people in public in general, unless it's like we're talking like right now, where it's something factual. It's just not. It's just to me the ultimate vampiric energy, the ultimate lowest form of a demon, because essentially all you can do by that is gain energy and attention because DDG can't do it on his own. the first times I heard about DDG was from dating that girl Kennedy. I've only ever heard about him through dating people. So that lets me know that's how he's getting his energy is by dating women. And usually women will date a guy because he has a track record of dating other women at that level. So that's what they say, like beautiful women are bait for these kind of men. So it's sad that all these women are falling for this low vibrational trap because they're looking for validation in men. It's sad. It's sad how much validation, how much time we waste, how many mistakes we make thinking that men are going to validate you when they're going to do the exact opposite.
Mm.
Dating is not something that you should play with. It's not something that should be done like willy nilly, especially in this case, especially
Mm-mm.
when you're dating people that will literally air out your darkest days. And he always gave me that vibe because that's what he does for a living. He goes online for a living and talks about his relationships. So just from there, Holly should have had some sense of if we, you know what I mean? Just from that kind of how he carries
Some
himself, we should already
awareness.
know. What you say?
Some awareness.
And then, you know, when I found out that she was on some, you know, some of those texts before she got pregnant, already acting a fool over this guy, that means that she was out of her mind already. She's already out of her mind.
Oh my gosh.
You
Yeah,
know what
that's
I'm
what I'm
saying?
gonna call it.
What
I'm
you
out
say?
of my mind.
Yeah, we've all been out of our mind, but it's like, come on, you was out of your mind already because you was already acting the fool before a baby was even involved. He
Mm-mm.
was it was already not a stable situation, and
I
she was
hate that
talking
for
about
her.
what you say.
I hate that for her.
I hate that for her too because she's so talented, so pretty. This is what we talk about. There's when you have insecurities that you're dealing with, there's nothing that can stop you because everybody in the world could tell you not to do something. But here's the truth, guys: nobody can save you from your own lessons. Okay, but it it sucks when people like her have to learn in the public eye because I feel like
Mm.
I'm blessed to have lived life and be able to come here as a whole complete
Behind closed
person.
doors.
We say?
Behind closed doors.
Yeah, I'm able to like I feel like I was able to grow up and actually learn on my own. And that's because I was doing it organically. I wasn't trying to learn for the world. I wasn't trying to learn to impress people. I tried to learn and harness myself for myself. A lot of people when
Mm.
they go through these spiritual transitions, they go on there telling everybody that you have to do this for you. And when you do, it's quiet, it's reflective. And you just
Mm.
want to become a better version of yourself. So no matter what, nothing can stop that, you know.
Right.
Nothing can stop you from becoming better. And that's why it's so important that we have to be real with Holly because we want her to be better. Like this is ridiculous. This whole situation is very childish. It's very like it's just something that should have happened. Something that some these things like high school, middle school stuff. And people keep repeating this into their adulthood until they wake up to where they're failing at. Like
Mm.
I didn't like that early on. I seen her talking to DDG about the baby, and was like, "I'll keep it if you want to stay with me, or I'll abort it." That means you should have gotten an abortion because if you're doing a baby based around if somebody's gonna be around, you don't want the baby, you want him, and he's not gonna be around.
Mm.
And you shouldn't have been able put yourself in a position. Of course, he wanted to keep the baby because this is gonna keep him in the headlines forever. This is gonna keep him in the headlines forever, and that's what his plan was. That's why he
That's so
liked you.
terrible.
What do you say?
I said that just sounds terrible. It's gonna keep you in the headlines forever. Forever? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, because a baby's it's like how Mariah Carey got to deal with Nick Cannon all the time.
Yeah, that is another one where
It's
he's
like
like,
every time
mm-mm.
we hear about we can't not think about Mariah Carey. You know what I'm saying? She's her brand's so much bigger than that at this point that I don't think it's as bad. It's like it's Mariah Carey, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but it still it's her kids, siblings, and it just makes it
It's attaching you to this thing that you don't really need to be attached to. You don't want to, but you can't help it.
exactly. Mm, It's all kind of attachments to things like Drake is saying that you didn't sign up for, or you don't feel is represents you in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And what I don't like about what Holly's doing is, and we'll get into DGG. What I don't like about what Holly's doing is I feel like now that she knows he's not gonna be good, now that she knows he's a dog or whatever else, now she's 316 and being like, okay, well, I gotta get full custody and all this crazy stuff. When apparently she was taking his knives and taking his guns and doing some wild behaviors. You have to.
She was what?
She was taking his guns and knives. They said like he took a picture of his hand being cut that night they got into the altercation.
She was taking his to do what?
I
That's
don't.
so
I don't.
crazy.
I don't. I don't even know what. It's just those like really low moments, and it's not about her looking crazy. She was already crazy for dating somebody that wasn't respecting you. That's the crazy thing that you did. And it's only
Mm,
gonna bring out the worst in you. This isn't even somebody that you can consider a good friend or a good person.
mm,
Somebody has any kind of positive intentions towards you. But where she's messing up at is no matter what in life, like we have to when we make our bed, we gotta lay in it. If I choose to
yeah.
deal with an F boy, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, I was gonna say fuck nigga. If I just do it, I have to lay in that bed. I can't all of a sudden be like, niggas ain't
It's
shit.
all him.
It's all
Yeah.
him because I have to find out where I'm attracted to that. And that's where the work is. And then naturally you won't be attracted to those lower natures. But now you want full custody and all this stuff. I didn't like that during like their relationship. I felt like she did that. I felt like she went for that custody because he kept going online talking about their relationship and how she was trying to keep the baby from him and all this stuff. And it's just a bunch of drama. But once again, she made that bed. This is who DDG is. This is his brand, is going on the internet, stirring up the pot like a DJ Academics type. You know what I'm saying? He gives me that
Mm-hmm.
vibe where he just likes to be online. He likes the constant clickbait. He likes the constant things. And it sucks. But like when we make decisions, especially with children involved, that is a commitment you're making.
Yeah.
That's why we want abortion to be legal in all 50 freaking states.
Keep it legal.
Keep it legal because get ahead of it if you can. Please don't have. Let's stop having sex and then have the birth control.
Get
But
ahead of it if you
at the
can.
moment you in a text message conversation saying if you stay with me, I'll keep it. You already lost your mind because that's the stupidest reason to keep a baby. And it's gonna get worse. I tell people all the time. However you're feeling during something, it's gonna continue. It's not gonna change. Only way your feelings change is if you change your situation. If
Mm.
you're in a toxic relationship, it's not gonna all of a sudden not be toxic. That's the basis of the relationship.
Yeah, the foundation is a mess.
Yeah, how you meet, what the energy was, all that always stays. But it's not about a lot of women are like, oh, men will. I see a lot of people online being like, well, this is what happens when men drive you to the point. How are you letting somebody get in your mind and drive you to a point?
Why is that so funny? Why?
And they're driving you to a point. You let a man jump in your
No.
fourth dimensional mind and drive
It's
you through the
true because
astral and drive
everybody's
you right
been
to
there.
hell.
Like,
What you say?
I said it's true because everybody's been there. Like, not necessarily in a relationship. You get let people get in your mind.
Drive to the point.
And it's true because you really be like, how did I end up here?
Yeah, and you end up
Oh,
acting a complete fool, a complete mess. Now Diddy got a secret file on you for when you did some crazy stuff. And it's like, what in the hell? How come
no, that is crazy. It's true. Secret file.
secret
I
file
hate
is
that
the
he
worst
posted
day?
that. I don't know. I feel like, do you think she's feeling okay?
I'm really worried about her, especially knowing that she's Gabriel and that she was already suicidal. It's like now, like people aren't just gonna be siding with people moving forward. They don't take accountability. It's not gonna be a world where you can just be like, oh, I had postpartum and I'm a woman. No, because you shouldn't have been dating this dude. This dude was not good quality. And now that you had a kid with him, and we're seeing these text messages that you pretty much like trying to use this baby to keep a relationship going, nobody's gonna care because before you even got pregnant, you was doing you was you was mentally gone. And then all those clips of her online and she's saying stuff like, if you deal with a man, he's always gonna be your man. I'm gonna pull that up. Hey, what drink?
I'm like, you're about to make it worse.
Let this be a tribute to all angels to get their act together. Because it's like,
You're getting put on Front Street.
yeah, because these are the mentalities I actually grew up with. Like, girls used to tell me that, oh, that's always going to be your man. And it's just like, in a weird way, it's false and it's true. And I'll break that
Yeah.
down. We'll break all this down. But these mentalities, first I gotta find the clip. They're all this Elon Musk on that Trump clip. So I'll find the clip. Okay. 1 second. And like I said, I don't like putting Halle Bailey on a front street, but we got to. So let's talk about this old clip. They're using her old stuff. This is what's crazy too, is like everything will be used against you when you try to come,
Yeah.
because where you go wrong is she try to come for full custody of the kid. Okay. Now, if there's video evidence of him really harming her, but I'm like, I feel like, if the evidence is that bad, what I'm scared of is if the camera ring footage comes out and they both tussling. You know what I'm trying to
Mm,
say? Like, the footage that she's alleging better just be him coming at her physically. It better not be mutual combat,
yeah.
because that's not going to be in her favor. Because essentially,
Mm-mm.
they both would have to have 50-50 custody. Kids aren't nothing to play with, y'all. It's enough to just play with having a boyfriend and all this. That's like a kid. Come on, you guys.
It's attachment for the rest of your life.
And it's a more. It, I I don't even want tattoos, but I would take. I would, if I had to get a tattoo right now, I would take one over a kid with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, if I had to get a tattoo and they tell me you cannot remove it ever, I'll take that over a kid. Even though I do not like tattoos at all on me. I'm just saying, I understand
Okay.
because it's a weight. It's not just something. Not this is on my arm. I wouldn't like it, but that's something I wouldn't like. But I got to deal with somebody else I don't like. Oh, that's so much work. But let's get
Mm-mm.
into this clip here of um Holly
Holly?
Bailey, yeah, breaking down the ins and outs of having a man.
Oh boy.
No, this is like it's sad because I feel like when my first boyfriend, my friends be like, "Well, that's like your man, man." People always say that's like your actual man. Like, people know that's your man, and it's like, even when we weren't together, people are like, "Well, people should know that's your man." That was the mentality that people always have if like you've been dealing with somebody for a long time,
Hmm.
because you could still have access to that man, right?
Yeah.
But that's not your man. And people aren't property anyways. I don't want to talk about, oh, my man, I don't like all this man stuff, number one. But number two, it's like these mentalities that put people in these long time situationships, these years after years keep going back. And it's sad because, the only reason why you having access with this man is for sex. And really, and I've done this. I hate to have to admit my own sins, but use sex to stay close to a man. Like, women also use sex to keep a guy near. Because if you're not in a relationship with somebody, the like and luckily this was my ex, because I don't like to admit where I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth, 'cause I know every girl does it. Like, what she's
Hmm.
saying essentially is you could keep dealing with him, but the only reason why he's dealing with you is because you're still providing sex. You're
Well,
not meeting up with.
that's what they mean.
What do you think they meant, Drake?
Oh, I don't know. I thought maybe she meant like I really don't know.
She's saying, like, once a girl deals with a man, that's
Yeah, I'm
always
thinking
gonna be her
like
man.
dealing with you, like just staying in contact.
No, she's talking about fucking. Like once somebody's your man, you can always keep messing with him. And I'm gonna tell you where this whole idea comes from too, is the low numbers game. Because a lot of women will try to keep their and I've been guilty of this too. Low numbers, but it's still not shit. You know, low numbers don't make you don't change it. You can still get pregnant. You can still get an STI. Everything bad can happen with low numbers. It's better to
Mhm.
just not be having sex, to actually be respecting yourself and realizing if somebody's not in a relationship with you, that's not your person. You're just allowing this person access to your body because that's the only thing they want from you. And you're so desperate for their validation because you don't have enough inner strength at the time to validate yourself and get up out of it. And then it's like a backwards self-fulfilling prophecy because then it's like you know how you get in moments where like you want that validation so bad because you're not getting it that you just stay a little
Mhm.
bit longer. And then like having that low number mentality will keep you dealing with somebody for so long because you don't want to add these numbers.
Mm.
But guess what? You can just stop dealing with them and you don't got to add no numbers. I don't know why I didn't think of that years ago.
That too.
It's like, oh, you're worried about all these numbers. Meanwhile, I could just left them in the dust and kept the numbers right where they was at. It's like, it's
I
like,
didn't even think of that.
it's because it's an addiction to having a man. And a man, women use men, and I've done it too, for a sense of self security. Because the easiest way for women to get fake security, self esteem, is through men. This is where all the male gay stuff is. 'Cause that's the easiest way when you go out and men look at you. That's the easiest way to get
It's
a
like getting
false,
on a dating app.
yeah, it's a false sense of confidence.
Mhm.
Um, it's the easiest one because it requires no work except putting yourself together physically.
Mhm.
Um, it's the worst thing you can look for is self esteem through others, but especially through dating. And that's what everybody does on Earth. So it's like, why even? It's not about numbers. It's about self respect. It's about becoming a better person. It's about having a better self esteem. It's about realizing that you're using sex to keep a man around. Women do this, and it sucks because I've done it. And what's even crazier, this is like the majority of these like Hollywood relationships. See these girls with rappers and stuff. They have a sexual relationship. They don't have a man. They don't got a boyfriend. They have a person that hits them up for sex, and they're available. Women use sex to get around these men because these men reflect how they want to be seen in the world. They reflect the possibility and a hope for a better self-esteem for themselves. And men use
Mhm.
these women for self-esteem too. So it's like I didn't realize when I was younger, men were just trying to use me for their self-esteem when I am having self-esteem, and then in reverse, I'm using them for my self-esteem. So it's this backwards twisted thing.
Mhm.
Like when I was a kid, I was considered very cute, very pretty. So men wanted to date me for their self-esteem to boost their self-esteem up. And it
Mhm.
actually took away my self-esteem. It's so important not to date when you're young because that's your root chakra, your sacral chakra when you're having sex. And that affects a woman's self-esteem. So
Mhm.
by men using us for self-esteem, it has given us low self-esteem. So both parties got to stop doing this and come right with yourself and block out all the noise. Like I said, I don't want people that have high numbers to feel bad watching this because it's like it's not about the numbers. Some of us have low numbers, people have high numbers, but it's the numbers do matter in certain cases because it lets you know you was a little more flunked out.
Mhm.
Nevertheless, we're all flunked out, but it's not about that. Like you shouldn't feel bad, but you should have to come to realization that if you have all these numbers, that was more flunked out. You was more lost. Everybody
True.
has to be honest with how they were lost
Yeah.
because the world had us lost. When I was a kid, it was cute to have a boyfriend. A boyfriend is something that they shouldn't even let you have.
So how do you think people, like, if people aren't dating or whatever, how do we meet each other? Like, what do you recommend? Because I know people are gonna be like, okay, so how do you meet people or how do you talk to people if you're not dating?
Well, I think the thing about it is there's forms of it that could naturally happen, but 9 times out of 10 it's just going to be karmic because until you've actually self prophesize and self fulfilled yourself, you're not really gonna meet whole and complete situations. So the first things
Mm,
first, you have to get your life in full stability. You have to
mm,
fully become yourself in the world. So that's step one. But I mean, if you have people on the way that you're dating, that could be okay. I'm not saying if it makes sense, you might have your own karmic contract. That's the thing too. A lot of people have karmic. She got a karmic. You got karmic contract. There's so many different levels of this. But if you can avoid it, avoid it. But I'm
mm.
saying if you have a karma, like everything that I've, all my dating would is what took me to this point to have this information. So some of us have to go through that more to learn the lessons that we need to learn. But the whole point about it, whether you're dating or not, is about making sure you learn the lesson and reason why you're doing it and taking accountability. Like like men got relationships with me for a falsehood of self-esteem and for sex, and then in turn that made me use sex for a sense of falsehood and self-esteem in those relationships. It's backwards. They did a
Super
Jedi mind trick thing. Now you playing their game like, oh, I gotta keep these numbers low and I don't give a damn about none of that. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
only care about doing what's right in the Father's eyes and what the Lord's eyes.
yeah.
Cause like,
Don't feel bad.
what do you say?
I said, don't feel bad.
Yeah, don't feel bad because there's people like it, it doesn't make you a better person in the
There's
Lord's
people with
eyes.
hundreds.
Yeah, exactly. Man, and also
Just
it's like
kidding.
in the Lord's eyes, that's not stuff that the Lord worries about. The Lord worries about if you're actually becoming a better person and evolving.
Hmm.
Some people it takes a bunch of numbers to get to that point. It takes hitting that same wall up and up again and going through the same trauma until you realize why you got in that predicament.
Yeah.
But I hate this mentality, and I was fed this mentality when I was a kid. Just the whole thing of like, oh, that's always gonna be your man. And it's crazy because like the only thing once again I would say is sex is powerful because like my first boyfriend like I ever had, like still hits people up to like in my family to like connect with me. So it's like it is these things are real. Like people do, even men feel like that. Luckily, I'm not in those mentalities and I don't have any like desire for anybody. But it's the fact that people even think to hit me up from years ago. It lets you know that it's like just throw
It
the
was
whole
strong.
yeah, these relationships that we have are strong and serious things and they're really just for us to learn.
Yeah, they're more attachments and I don't know, just I guess more pivotal in our life than we really think they
Yeah,
are.
and even when women engage in like sex for like, oh, like people like, oh, so they're young, they want to have fun. Those are also false attempts at power too. Because let me tell you, the moment that guy you're having fun with isn't giving you um, the power, like what's that called?
Power move.
Yeah, power trip. Like he's not obsessed with you. You're not gonna want no more. So everything are these false senses of power that we all jump into because we're not empowered from ourselves. So all
Hmm.
of it's a wash. All of it's just a fake way to build self-esteem. And there could be some more pure connections that you have that might not lead to your husband. So I'm not saying you can't have any dating because that's how you learn. And the whole purpose of life is learning. So it's not it's not really like the thing is people get too serious and too judgmental these days. We're like, oh, I'm just like there's acting like life's a Judge Judy show, and we should all sit up here and be serious. It's like, no, everybody deserves a second chance. But where Haley's going wrong, in my opinion, is it's just like she doesn't want to deal with the consequences of her actions right now. And
Hmm.
it's like you had a kid with him. Like he has to see that kid. You can't just have full custody, probably, unless that video is really, really bad. She might have to split custody with him. That might be what's
Hmm.
best for the kid.
So she doesn't want to let. I thought. So basically, she wants full custody, and for him to only see the kid, I think I see something like 6 hours a week.
Yeah, something like this.
I'm trying to figure out like what's the point.
I think just to keep that power of like you messed up, you know what I mean? And like she doesn't want to deal with him at all. She's still upset about everything.
Mm.
she's still mad at herself for what she decided to date.
Yeah, but I mean, you
Everybody
also don't
messed
want it to
up.
affect the kid.
What you say?
Yeah, I get it, but you also don't want it to affect your kid either.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I wish DDG was more mature and he was the kind of guy that like it's gonna be a real rough ride because he's the type of guy anytime he gets his kid gonna be posting about it. He is not somebody that values like an authentic relationship with anybody. His kids for
Mm-mm.
show, relationships for show, everything's for show. And so they're trying to act like, oh, they were so they were never in love. He was in love with the idea of having more spotlight, having being invited to more rooms, of an opportunity to easily get himself indoors that he didn't work for.
Mm. Hmm.
And like I said, if you are gonna date, like I had a middle school boyfriend and we really had a great time and no drama. Once again, we didn't have sex, you know what I'm saying? But like there are people that can come into your life and just be great people. Usually those people they're your same spirit family sometimes. I'm not saying you can't date at all. I'm just saying that a lot of people aren't even at that point where they're even like 80% secure to do any kind of dating. Like, if you
Mm-mm.
are, you need to make sure you're using condoms. You need to make sure you're on birth control. You need to make sure you don't get pregnant. That goes for men and women. Like, it's this whole thing is just so it's no structure to it. It's dangerous mentally, physically, and spiritually. Like, look at what's happening to Holly. Like, she wants to kill herself because of something that she decided to participate in. And that's how it feels though, like, it really feels like that, and I couldn't imagine first of all, she's still trying to wrap her head around everything, and also that she's gonna be raising this kid alone, and then she has to deal with him airing her out like this. It's too much. So everybody needs to pray for her, you know?
Yeah.
And I understand people talk about postpartum and stuff, but 9 times out of 10, postpartum is just regret of having a baby, of having to deal with the fact that you had a baby in a bad situation. Or you're not happy with your outcome. You can't get into any sort of depression in life without it there being something wrong and off, some form of misalignment. Like people just want to
True.
act like it's just chemicals. No, it's misalignment. You can't get depressed without being misaligned.
I've been misaligned my
You misaligned, girl. You know? And usually misalignment comes from taking actions in a bad direction. I've been
It
depressed.
gets
Like, we
worse.
all like mental health is something that you have to overcome on earth and get a better mind. And that comes from better self-esteem, which leads to better actions and better care for yourself. But everybody, like nobody should be judging Holly. Like
Mm-mm.
everybody's done. People have said worse things on text messages.
Right. I'm like, come on. People, I don't know. I think we've been taught also in this world, especially like the last 10 years, like with celebrity culture, it's like, yeah, there's always a lot of like pointing and blaming, like, oh, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't say that. We all say and do messed up things.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, stop acting like you ain't never done anything before. That really be killing me because it's like I know you lying, so
Right,
relax.
right.
Like I see those posts about like like this is random off topic, but I'll see stuff like this, like and I know you have too, where people will post like, oh yeah, this person who used to do this to me, or this person from way back in my life that they went to school with. You see those posts, and they're like trying to
Yeah,
blast the person, and it's like, okay, I'm not saying that that's okay and it's proper, it's fair, but at the same time, like you ain't never done nothing that you regret it too? How you know
right,
you ain't done that to somebody else or been that for somebody else in their life?
right, right. That's a
Relax.
that's a big one, Drika, because it's like you know everybody's done bad, so that's why Jesus said, whoever hasn't sinned cast the first stone." That's why I say it's a safe space for people who have any kind of numbers, people that doing any kind of because we want people to get better. It's not about, where you at. Where you at is where your starting point of security is. You know what I'm saying? And we want you to become more self secure. But it's like don't act like you ain't cuss somebody out at Thanksgiving or Do what you had to do. Do whatever you had to do. Don't act like you
I
don't know that
already cursed
whatever that's
somebody out at Thanksgiving.
what you
Come
say.
on.
You don't act like you don't know somebody Thanksgiving right now. Come on now. Feel like you
Don't
never
act
thought.
like that's a good one. Put that one on a t-shirt. Don't act like you ain't never cursed nobody out at Thanksgiving. And that's funny because that's a good one because people always make those posts like they want to curse people out at Thanksgiving. They just don't. So don't blame the person who actually did it. Like don't look at them different. They just did what everybody, whether you did it or didn't, wanted to do. Just
Right.
relax.
Right. And it's like we just want Holly to learn from it so she don't think that like I don't want women to keep thinking, "Oh, all these excuses." No, because right now as women, we're in the preliminary stages of evolution for women. This is our first time coming into a little bit of our own power, and we still haven't figured out how to harness it. I just, after billions and eons of years, figure out how to harness my energy on my own. Just now. Takes eons. And women, you know how I talked about in slavery, right? But like after slavery, a lot of slaves just went back because like you're free, but you don't even know how to do it. And that's the energy we're in right now. So if we don't lay a better foundation and take a bunch of accountability for all of our actions, we can't, have a better future for
Progress.
women. Yeah, we have to lay. We're the woman that's laying the foundation. We're the first woman to have a lot of freedom. And so this is where all the chaos is. When you have that first taste of freedom, you don't even know what you're doing.
You don't.
You have no idea. It's like you get. Have you ever got some money and you just spent? You didn't even know. You're like, damn, I spent 10 bands. You know what I mean? It could have been from a car accident. You just spent. You know what I mean? You getting your first taste. Now you have to watch a webinar to learn about money and portfolios. Nobody told you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you
Never knew.
monitoring the budget. You used to just lay and think fly out the budget. I'm just saying, when it's your first taste, well, this is a woman's first taste for real. And then we're at this right now too, where we're at is the culmination of the dark side. Like for the last 15 years, all people have been doing is partying, smoking, drinking, clubbing. What was in style? Taz Angel. I mean, the worst things of all time was what was the popular culture, and it brought out the worst in all of us, so we could figure out where our own insecurity was and what we need to work on. Baby mama, baby daddy culture. I mean, it's the worst things bubbled to the top so we could evolve. So that's the pause. Like all of our worst tendencies, racism, all the isms,
All
baby
of it
mama
just boiled
culture.
over.
What you say?
All of it just boiled over. Now you know
Yeah.
where you're lacking at.
Yeah. Like, for me personally, I feel like I gave into a little bit of over sexualizing myself a little bit, but not too much because I still like a little bit of being sexy. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
who didn't want to be a Victoria's Secret model? Let's be for real. Like don't all of a sudden, oh, we're gonna stay covered up. Y'all need to go to hell. Y'all like to switch up too
We're all
much.
Puritans.
Yeah, everybody want to be a Puritan now. Everybody want to be, oh, they man, when I was a kid, I like Britney Spears. I liked Halle Berry. I like Selma Hayek. I like Victoria's Secret models. That's what I thought was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And you have to
Mm-hmm.
own up to over emulating things that's not your purpose, essentially. Ain't nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with those things, but if it's not what I'm supposed to be doing on earth, that's when you start looking stupid.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not about those things being wrong. Is that ain't got shit to do with what God has to do with you.
True.
You're like, I'm not supposed to be a Victoria's Secret model. This is crazy. Why the fuck did I come down here?
Like, come on.
Come on, put me in, coach. But that's why it's bad. It's not that those things are bad. We have to have all expressions of femininity on earth. You gotta have all expressions of being of everything. But even that was the build up to where we got to. Watching everybody be very sensual as a kid. I mean, the people that we looked up to was very sensual,
Mm-hmm.
and then us jumping right into it with the access of Instagram on our phones.
Well,
We
you
had
can
watched
post
video
online
vixens.
and do that too.
Yeah, so we just thought that was normal world. Like we grew up looking up to. I mean, you know how many girls love how video vixens look. All that. That was the culture
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid. Like just being pretty was the whole idea, and
Yeah.
showing the world that you were pretty.
Y2K, video vixen culture.
And then
That
I grew
was
up,
ideal.
and then we have the white culture of just being totally insane, like Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears, and mix all that in one pot. We ended up having the last 20 years of just nonsense.
Mm.
And everybody being lost and just copying and following the leader that didn't know where they was leading us to. And so now we're all like, oh snap, that's not who I am. I'm a Puritan. I'm a religious Christian.
I'm like,
Come on now.
yeah,
Come on now.
maybe
Stop
some people, but not most.
it. Not most. Um, Essentially, we just have to come to an understanding of our own self and just come whole and complete with that. But I do feel like all of this is the buildup. Like right now, we're in revelations of the last that bad influence, and we're seeing how it really sex without any proper foundation creates super amounts of insecurity, creates too much lust, creates a bad self identity. Overly promoting sex leads to being lost. All these things that was the cultural norm have led people to lostness, despair, depression, suicide. You know, look at Will and Jada, Cassie, um, and now the whole gay.
Don't blast the whole
I'm trying to
family
figure out how the whole Gabriel family
now.
got affected so bad by all this. I'm like,
Oh my god.
yeah, why is Gabriel getting affected so much by this?
I have no idea.
Because I think that the Michael family be more affected by all this lostness. They probably still are. Hey, Michael's probably some of them is in rehab right now. We don't know. They're doing it behind closed doors. So, I mean, yeah, I just think that the Gabriel family, is going through a lot, especially in the black community with and I'm thinking because money is a big thing in the Gabriel family. I just looked
Mm,
at Hallie as a young girl, and she's very nice, you know, very sweet, but she definitely I think she was homeschooled, and I don't think
yeah.
she grew up around people. Like that's one thing I don't like about homeschooling is people like you need to be around. Like even with being around, you're still gonna have to learn lessons. But Egypt down, 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 down. Essentially, I just feel like her receiving that kind of attention from men probably wasn't normal for her, probably was like something that she really, couldn't get enough of because usually your first hit, male attention when you first get it is like a good crack pipe. Smoke for real, I feel like I just got to the point in the last year or two that when like men compliment me a bunch, I don't even feel anything from it. I feel like I still used to get a nice little whiff of that, like a
Hmm.
nice little basking of that fake glory that never even meant anything. So when you get that first little rock that she got from the men, because men are gold diggers too. They're career diggers too. They like women for the same reasons. They'd be like, why do all the men date the same women? Because those women are in the public eye. Men want clout too. They're more status driven than anybody. That's their
Hmm.
whole aim. So they want women that's powerful and in their right mind and doing the right things more than anybody.
Hmm.
So it's backwards. Like y'all think that like that's
Y'all
the
didn't
stuff
know
that what you say?
that. I said, but y'all didn't know that.
Yeah, they fake. They get online. They be like, oh, we don't want women with careers.
Mm.
Everybody does. You tell me you're gonna pick
Mm.
a random girl or Aaliyah. You're gonna pick Aaliyah. Everybody wants somebody that has their own sense of self and their own thing going on. Nobody wants somebody that has nothing going on. And usually you pick somebody that's random, that's pretty, they haven't even self-actualized. They have nothing to talk about with them. There's nothing going on. So men are status driven. Why do you think they all like how Jay-Z said he got the hottest chick in the game wearing his chain? He didn't say he had the waitress around the corner wearing his chain.
True.
Men like in my life, men liked me more based around other men liking me. That's how they even start liking you, because they want status with other men, and then women want status, want that status too, so they go and date men. So it's all chasing somebody else's approval outside of the Lord, outside of your inherent worth. And you can't chase your worth. You just have to be your worth.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, I feel bad for Haley because it's too much. Anytime people post your personal worst days, they need to go to hell. A straight ticket to hell. Because it's just unnecessary. But at the same time, when you go and put yourself in a predicament that she did to try to take full custody, you gotta be ready for that person to come with their gloves out. If I go online and start talking bad about somebody, I have to be ready for them to come out with their gloves out, even if it's the truth, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
especially in personal relationships where the personal relationships where it gets tricky, honestly, because personal relationships, you decide to have this person in your personal life. You
Yeah,
you've
it's more on you.
exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that, I hope that she just learns from this and grows and just shakes it off, because it's really not that serious. Like, the whole point of life is to learn. That's why we're down here. So you're always going to be put in situations where there's something for you to learn. So there's nothing, you don't really need to feel bad. You just got to be like, all right, well, that's that. Now let me harness the power of myself and just focus on being a better person. And that's all. I mean, you shouldn't have nothing to say. Just focus on raising your kid and taking care of your mental state. And were you with DDG because you was in a competitive mental place and you wanted to feel like the prettiest girl in the world because he dates a lot of pretty women? That's what it seems like to me. They all want to feel pretty, so they're dating DDG. That's how it usually is.
I'm
So
like, what?
you want to. That's what I was thinking in my mind. That's what came to me. It's like she
It's
wanted to feel
interesting.
pretty, so she's dating a guy who's dating a bunch of pretty women too. You want to feel like the prettiest girl or the baddest bitch or whatever. So you're dating a guy who's dating the baddest bitches because he's dating Ruby Rose and Lala Baptiste. And Lala, she needs to sit down and go figure out what she's trying to do with her life. Women need to spend more time trying to figure out what they're doing with their life, because I shouldn't be constantly hearing your name being brought up with all these men. It's sad. We're wasting so much youth and beauty on nothing, on just dating around.
Mm-hmm.
She could be focusing on modeling, building up her self esteem. Like, this should be a wake up call, because she keeps talking about how DDG is a good friend to her. If this is a good friend, why would he post that message of Hailey saying that? Because if you guys didn't have sex and he posted that, he wanted to keep that insinuation, because once again, he's building the image of himself as a guy who gets all the baddest women. And he's just being able to use all these different women, all these different angels, all these different demons to do it. So y'all all got to throw in the towel with this participation and stop hanging out with men. If you want to work with a guy, cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's going past working, where not every time you guys are popping up, it's like you guys dating this guy, dating that. Man, you got to have some business about yourself. The worst thing you can do is hang around men, usually even in business situations. Men are terrible for your brand, y'all. They're terrible. They'll make you look like you're a whore, that you're being passed around. You could not done anything with these guys. It's just because they know what they're around you for, which is that image.
Mm-mm.
So
Unfortunate.
if Lala didn't have sex with him, it wouldn't matter, because at this point everybody thinks it. And that's what you get for hanging out with demons.
Mm.
So
You
we all
gotta
gotta tighten
have
up,
fun.
mind our own business, focus on our self-worth, drink our lemon water juice. And if you fucked up, you fucked up. Like I said, keep it pushing. It
Spring
ain't that
water.
deep. It ain't that deep. Ain't nobody gonna come down from heaven and strike you. Yeah. OJ.
Sure.
OJ carried on. You gotta carry on. So don't let the bad things hold you back. You gotta keep living. And you're here to accumulate wisdom. But if I keep seeing you in the same circles and patterns, then you're not accumulating wisdom. You're just getting more lost. You letting people drive you in the realm. So
Yes.
let's focus on just everybody got to take accountability. We can't keep having this man versus woman shit. It's not getting
Man
us
versus
nowhere.
woman.
It's so silly. It's you versus you. Why did you put yourself in a situation? That's the only thing in life that matters is why did you do it? And that's a personal discussion between you and yourself. And if you need help, call Jesus, call the Most High, call an archangel, somebody. But it's a you and you discussion. This isn't a discussion with the world trying to prove that somebody did you wrong because you don't want to take accountability. Anytime we're in situations where we're constantly trying to point the finger, we're not doing our work because we came here to evolve. We came here to learn. We came here to grow. So you got to figure out what insecurity you had to put you in that position. And until you want to do that work, you're not going to get nowhere because
Hmm.
that's the work of life. That's what we signed up to do down here. Don't let nobody shame
Don't
you out of
remind
your
me.
past. What do you say?
Don't remind us.
That's the work of life, you know? And the thing is, you don't have to care what nobody thinks about you but you. This is all for you. You know, you do something bad, who cares? Because if you learn from it, you should feel good and empowered, like you're gonna go out there and be a better person. I want to be good because I want to be good. Because I feel good about myself. I'm not doing being good for other people. This ain't a prove these things to the world situation. We go inside, we figure out what was the insecurity we had, and we totally destroy it by becoming what we thought we were going to project in the world by dating that person or by
Hmm.
hanging with that person or by getting that job. We become the real authentic version and we leave the world behind and we leave the naysayers behind. And people want to embrace this
Mhm.
new improved version of you. Great. If they don't, it is what it is. Like
Hmm.
you said, only losers try to air out people that was famous that they knew in high school. That's loser shit. That's big bum energy. Why aren't you the person that's famous? You just want to air people out all day? Come on. Don't be on no big bum shit.
Mm-mm.
You don't even know that person. And also, you gotta remember when people treat me wrong, like even people that was mean to me, not people that was super mean to me. Watch out, Oscar. Oscar, watch out. I've had so many people that are like famous people be rude to me. I don't care, and I wouldn't get on here and talk about it because at the end of the day, you don't know what that person went through. You don't know what could be triggering them. You know what I'm saying? And I know that me being whole and being more secure does trigger people. I'm a powerful person. On top of that, you know people's childhood, you know what people been through. You have no idea. So for me to take it on like, oh, this person's so mean to me, and once again try and make their life about me. You got shit to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sit around and air out everybody in the world. Who cares? Now, if that person tried to come at me, then maybe I would say something. But it's like people have. I wouldn't hang out with those people, but I'm not gonna sit up and tell y'all everybody who ain't shit in Hollywood or whatever because
Yeah.
who cares? Unless it's a situation where you gotta address it in public, it's like I wish those people to evolve. I want everybody to get better. That's why I want Diddy to go to jail. I want him to go to jail so he can do better. It's like
Mm-hmm.
him being out on the streets isn't helping him become a better person.
Or anybody who's
Yeah, so
underneath any of that.
this definitely is helping Cassie evolve because when you got your business out in Front Street, you have to deal with it. You know, so it's just accumulation of a lot of things. But the last thing I wanted to say is like this also is new world fame because I feel like old celebrities probably had all type of stuff going on. Like imagine if you had access to Prince's text messages.
Oh my God.
Like they were very protected in this sense because up until what year there was no text, there was none of that. I just feel like
90s.
yeah, yeah. And now that we're in a different time where we're here to learn more and evolve more, now everything's being exposed on people and all this type of stuff. But like think about that way too is like the celebrity market has changed a lot. And essentially, before all this, it was just everybody was very protected. Like we never saw traditional celebrities' worst days.
Mm-mm.
And we know everybody has one. We know you cuss somebody out on Thanksgiving at some time. Like
Some
I don't
point.
believe that anybody hasn't had a mental health moment where they had to go back to Christ. I don't believe that everybody does. This earth was built on a fallen mind. So this earth was built on hell. You're in a world that was built off of a fallen mind. So there's no way you could just stay good all the time. You have to go through stuff and learn stuff. And the whole point of it is after you go through it is just take your lesson. And when you take your lesson, sometimes you gotta take that L in private.
Indeed.
Anything you want to add, Drake?
Take that L in private. Indeed. Emphasis. Because I don't know. I mean, in this case, anything that I want to add, I feel like you touched on everything perfectly. There wasn't really too much to be said, to be honest, because I'm like, yeah, I think more accountability with women, definitely, because it's like, I don't want to support all this stuff just because you're a woman. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
some of it is just fun, not even just this, but just in general, we've been witnessing. It's like, you know, you just don't have to like take that L and like do a little bit of growing up.
Yeah. And like I don't even want to support the stuff I did when I was out of alignment. So why should I support stuff you did? I'm here telling y'all I'm this is the wisdom from doing things that, doing things in the wrong path. So it's like why should any of us support this when we wouldn't support it in ourselves? And if we want women to have more power in the world, it has to be through real empowerment, which is through stepping into your self-esteem and self-worth. And
Agreed.
where I think she went wrong is trying to get full custody if she doesn't have a good video. We're gonna see, but I'm like, if that video is really spicy, she's gonna release it because he just aired her out.
Mm.
But if the video comes out and it's not as spicy and making it DDG look terrible, that's when we're gonna have more problems, right?
But I would honestly stop while I'm ahead in this case, just because, like you said, he's got a file cabinet.
Yeah, it's the worst kind of people.
You know what? You don't know what else he's got prepared, or no need to entice and engage.
Yeah, there's no need to go back and forth with this. The best thing that could happen, and like I don't, and if you're a man, I don't think you should be into this man versus woman. At the end of the day, DDG is not somebody who you should to identify with. This is a loser. This is the type of person that needs a woman to have a career. He's a bum. He's the same thing as a gold digger. Somebody that's constantly looking for somebody to attach themselves to have a standing in the world. He's a leech. So everybody got to get out of this siding with men, side women, side with the truth, because the truth is God, the Father. The truth is always what heaven is. The truth is always what Jesus is. Side with the truth. Stay to the truth, and is what it is. And the truth is always going to come back to how you got involved, so you could personally grow and not do this again. Because until you realize all your own flaws, you're going to be sitting around in the same mistake year after year after year. And
Mm.
sometimes it's deeper issues, you guys. Like it's deeper things going on with your psyche because you don't even know. Like it could be so, and that's why we have to be sweet and loving about it, because we can't be. That's why I really want people to know. It's like I really don't care about people's numbers, because everybody have to have a different path. Like you don't know how people's life even started before they could get all those numbers. It's so important to not throw people to the trash because they've made mistakes. I want people not to have any numbers, but if you have them, let's just focus on moving forward.
Yeah.
Let's focus on what we could do today and tomorrow for a better peace of mind and a better world. Because the worst thing about this situation is Holly does not have peace of mind. This is normal for DDG. He's used to this type of chaos. This is not going to be good for her. And she's not going to feel safe mentally after this. And that could affect her career because you don't want to be seen. You know, it could just affect her. So I just want to pray for her that she is covered mentally and physically. And really, when you start submitting when you're wrong, it's like it's more freeing than anything, you guys.
Yeah.
It's more freeing because it's like that's the purpose. We want to admit when we're wrong so we can help other people, evolve too. But we got to stop using men as a sense of anything. Only thing that can make you feel good about yourself is treating yourself good and doing what's right every day. That's how you build up a self esteem. Following the next nudge from the Most High, the next thing that the Most High has called you to do, and taking that serious. And just being blessed that you have the opportunity to evolve on earth. Be
Yeah.
blessed and happy that, wow, I'm actually a better person.
Yay.
And we can become better people every day. And when we're better, no more manipulation, no more coercion, no more using others and them using us, then using them, all this back and forth. It's nothing but pure bliss over here, you guys. Let's become whole and complete. I love you guys. It's Angel in the Library. Send prayers to Holly. DDG, he's soaking up this demonic energy like with a straw. It's feeling good right now.
I know.
The men versus woman war continues. Silliness. But I love you guys. And I love Holly. Holly's gorgeous. She's sweet. And she deserves better for herself. And that starts with a better state of mind. The state of mind that she was talking about is a bad state of mind. You don't want to be going back and forth. A man isn't your man if you deal with him. A man is your man if he is committed to you, he's married to you, and is devoted to with you. And if that ever ends, he's not your man anymore. It's ended.
Yes.
You know?
Simple.
Simple. Tell your family, Drake. Give them some wisdom. Give them some wisdom, Drake.
Simple. That
Keep it.
was yeah, keep it simple.
How
And I
did you
don't know.
avoid being in bad situations, Drika, with men?
You know what's so funny?
Hmm.
I don't even know. I'm like, how did I? Probably just being who I am. Honestly, I think it's like a mixture of stuff. I mean, I think you go so far, even with being, for me at least, with being stupid and like making decisions. Like, I know when a decision is stupid. Maybe that's what it is. Having more discernment or self awareness because, I mean, like the whole this whole thing is like, I agree with the people. I don't think that you should have really ever been serious about dating him. So that's
Right.
kind of like my brain is like I just wouldn't even bother with it. And that's not to
Yeah.
say, oh, he's gonna like me or something like that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Naturally, I just know better. Maybe because of the people I've been around. I think it's been a combination of things, honestly. And
Yeah.
also, I feel like I've always been like a little like I don't want to say bougie, but like I just feel like I'm great.
Okay, that's good. You have a better self esteem.
Right. I'm like, exactly. That's the perfect way to put it.
You
I
have a
just
better
have a
self
good
esteem.
self esteem. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You have a good self esteem, and it's like you kind of just you have a better sense of self worth.
Yeah, I do. Which
You
is
see,
funny because I never even thought about that, but seeing all this stuff recently, it's like, wow, I do. I guess. I never even thought about that.
you have a good sense of self esteem because that's what it is. It's like you actually know your worth more.
Hmm.
It's like like there's different levels. First, you have basic security and confidence, and then there's like the other level, which is like when you have awareness of your confidence, is when you have your worth.
Yeah,
Like your awareness of that self esteem is when you start creating worth.
right.
So you're aware of it, on some level. But yeah, it's a blessing to have self esteem, and a lot of people don't know they a lot of people don't know they have self esteem because we equate as women self esteem to like how we feel about the way we look or all these different things. But like you could be thinking you look good and have low self esteem. It's
Yeah,
spiritual.
it really
I
is.
learned that
I
from a
agree.
guy because he was really attractive and he was telling me about self esteem. And he didn't know he had low self esteem because he was doing things to
Mm-hmm.
impress friends as a kid. It's like people don't realize they have flaws because just because you feel good about the way you look, he said he thought self esteem was about his looks. You know what I mean? And he didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that because he didn't have solid parents in his life, he was always looking to his friends, cheering him on. And a lot of
Acceptance.
times they were cheering on his negative behavior, and that led him down a very
Mm-hmm.
negative path. And that happens a lot with women. Like I feel like I've always gotten a lot of applause for being pretty, more than
Mhm.
anything. So then you play more into that because that's where you're getting external validation from versus just not even caring about validation. But that takes a lot of time when you have to turn away a validation to go somewhere where you're not going to get any. But that's
Yeah,
true self esteem is not even needing any forms of validation, doing something because it's truthful to you.
indeed.
Yeah, doing what's true to you is really the highest form of self esteem. That's what we talk about purity. So Drika is very pure.
Heart.
Because I think the sad thing is we all think, oh, I have low self esteem. I don't like how I look in the mirror. It has nothing to do with your self esteem.
Yeah, because I always joke with you all the time, like those memes that'll be like, I hate myself. And then they be like, then I have a picture of myself on the back wall.
Yeah,
Like, do I
exactly.
actually hate myself?
No,
Not really.
right. Not at all. Not at all. It's
Just have
true.
those moments where you're like, okay, but I still think highly of myself. And then, like you said, it comes from the inside. I
It
definitely
comes,
believe because I like everybody gets off course. Everybody does different things that they're maybe not proud of in their life, but I do feel like I'm a good person.
yep.
So that alone, I'm like, yeah, people totally like would probably like to have somebody like me. I get told that. And I'm like, I never thought about it, but then when I look around in the world and different things, it's like I've been really fortunate, even with my friends, you know?
Yeah, you've
I
been
have
very
you as a
fortunate.
friend, you're a really good friend.
Oh.
A lot of people aren't. And I know you know that because I'm like, you probably had a lot of people who you,
And I wasn't always a good friend because I was in some
so
crazy mental states.
that too. So it's
You
like
know, it's like when
you
you
go
look
in and
back,
out.
yeah, now I'm as solid all the way around, but I feel like before, and this might be a Scorpio thing too, a Scorpio rising, I just like to burn things, like let like dead things. You feel like you ever want to just dead things when it does not you're not happy with it? Yeah. So I feel like I
We get
went
all
to,
these Scorpio placements just killing those things.
I just like to kill things off, and sometimes that hurts people's feelings, so I just kind of disappear on people. But I think in general, I became the best version of myself, and it took so much time. I'm still inking out small things, like just small things within myself that I really want to hone on, hone in on. But it takes time. Like some people, like Drika, are just born good and they stay good, and the rest of us, I feel like I was really, really good. But honestly, when I started having sex, I feel like that's when my self esteem got knocked. When I got into my first relationships and had sex, and I feel like that's why I say like your purity because it does take away from that. So then when you have to refine that initial confidence you have, that's
Mm-hmm.
hard because sex will take that out of most women. That's why I always tell you guys not to have sex because you don't know what you're playing with. You're playing
Yeah.
with your confidence. You're playing with your self esteem. You're playing with your innate worth. And it's going to take a lot for you to refine that again. But that's most of our journeys is to find that inner child again who was confident, who was excited, who didn't have any shame, didn't have any negativity, was just thought nothing but truth in the world. Because look at this situation, everywhere where people are attacking people in the world is based around who they're dating and who they're having sex with. That's going to be your main attack. So because it's a portal. That's why I tell you guys not to engage in that stuff because it's literally just an open portal for attack. And once you engage in that, you can get spirits attached to you. It's so many things that could happen. That's why it's important to find that purity because before you cared about what other people thought about you, that's the you that you have to find. And when you're a kid, I had that. I was very confident. I was very self-assured. I was school president every year. I was just super in my own. The moment I started getting a little older and dating, that's when I lost my self-esteem.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because people are like, why don't I was like, well, pretty women, like, you know, these people talk about pretty women. Look at Lala Baptiste, she was so gorgeous. That's a great
Mm-hmm.
example. I think she knows she's pretty, but she doesn't know her worth because she hasn't built that aspect of her yet. That's totally two different things. You could totally know you're drop dead gorgeous, but you could not feel any innate worth in yourself. It's two
Mm-hmm.
different things because feeling pretty is going to be based off the outside world. Knowing that you have a beautiful soul and knowing that you're good eternally is something totally different. And that can be stripped from you when you start having sex, you guys, as a woman. It's very important.
You
Very
start giving
important.
it away.
Yeah, start giving that away. It's the worst thing you could do. And that's why they encourage it for women to be having sex. And we grew up in this sex culture because the hardest thing, like you're here to build your self esteem and your confidence. And that's the quickest way for it to go away.
Mm.
is through engaging in those things. There's no point because once you get flunked out, it takes a while before you're gonna get unflunked.
Yeah, it's a
It can take
build
a
up
while.
process.
What do you say?
It's a build up process. Even now,
Yeah.
I feel like people are always saying like find like your inner child, your inner self, because that's where you were like the most pure or like most in your zone.
Hmm.
And I feel like even without all of that, it is difficult to kind of latch back into that because it's like sometimes you go through so much in your life, it's like hard for you to refine that and really find that because it's like you're underneath so much.
Yeah, and
It's
you
hard
and
to
a lot.
tap back in.
It's hard to tap back into it because you're scared of being judged by the world for the fake forms you put out there and for the things that you've done that you don't feel like a representation of yourself. But the truth of it is the only way we tap back into it is by just saying what Jesus says. You're forgiven. You got to move on. You got to move on. It's not gonna do anything to be holding on and carrying this burden every day. It's the hardest thing to do is to let go of the fear of being judged or the fear of being wrong, like people looking at you like you're wrong and these things. But it's like, at the end of the day, once you just make this mission about you and you and like, I'm gonna find that person again. I'm gonna be who I was. Like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to show up exactly who I am, who I was before the world stole my purity. I'm going back to her. Like, I owe it to her to be her. You have to get to that point. Like, your most purest self deserves to be in the world. They want to show up. That's who you really are. And yeah, all the accumulations do take away from that. And most people don't get that their shine back on. And that's what Jesus wants to give to people. Jesus wants to give people that purity back.
Yeah,
And that's
I
why people
agree.
always try to like bring up people's past and stuff because they want to take you out of your zone. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Oh, you're not that pure. No. You know what I mean? They want to take you out of refining yourself. You grew as a kid, you know who you are, then you could lose it, and then you got to get it back. And the way to get it back is getting back out of the world's influence and get back to your pure influence. Remember the things that make you happy. Remember the things that you like to do. Remember all of that. And that's who you really are. And doesn't go no further. And if you've anybody who can't accept that new version, then they can't be involved.
Mm.
But it's much easier when you can just keep your purity all the way through. But nine times out of
Mm.
10, it's just not gonna happen. So you gotta bounce back,
Mm.
right? Most people have to learn different things, but you gotta find it again. Get back to the
Agreed.
get back to the vortex.
Yeah, exactly. The vortex.
Got to get back in there and trust the process. It's a big, long process, you guys. It takes so much time and commitment to yourself. And you're gonna slip up. You're gonna have fails. You might start dating again. You might fail, but you can get back to it. And you always got to try to keep getting back there.
If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and
And
try
try
again.
again. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Alia, for that one. And on that note, love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in. And let us know what you guys think about the Holly and DDG situation.
Mm-hmm.